Hello classmates, this is Mike, and this is my individual presentation for our Business Process Workflow Analysis course. Today we're going to look at two questions. First, have we reached the limits of extracting efficiencies in business processes through the use of IT? And second, how can we continue to innovate for the next 5 to 10 years? On the first question, about extracting or reaching the limit of extracting efficiencies in business processes through the use of IT, I have to say the issue is a resounding no. I'm going to give you one example. As I've mentioned, and as I'm sure you know because you all memorized my bio prior to the orientation, I'm a consultant. I'm a business process improvement consultant. I was working with a client last year who's a globally known, well-recognized disaster recovery company. I won't use the name to protect the guilty, but if you're in IT, you've probably heard of them. At any rate, the group I was working with was in charge of a service delivery process. They had a need for a CMDB, or a change management database. Their IT group, which was a separate group that handled software development and tools and things like that, looked around, didn't find an off-the-shelf solution that they felt suited the business need, so they decided they would build their own. Not a bad decision, because they did have some fairly unique requirements. However, IT's contact with the service delivery team kind of stopped there. They went off 14 months and over $1 million of development effort later, developed a tool that not only didn't make the service delivery team more efficient, it actually hurt their efficiency. But because upper executives or upper management had approved the spend and spent the $1 million, they insisted that the team use it. So in that case, not only were we not even anywhere near reaching the limit of the efficiencies that could be gained in business processes, the use of IT actually hurt them. And I think those types of examples are fairly common. I can give you an example the other way, where the use of IT greatly enabled a business process, and that's from my own experience at GE Capital. Back when I used to have to work for a living before I was a consultant, I was an operations manager in an underwriting team. The team, or the company, implemented a software tool that would adjudicate credit underwriting, automate credit underwriting adjudication is a better way to say it. Use of that tool allowed us to automate about 25% of what had been a manual process. That automation for that 25% reduced our per application cost from $19 down to about $4 per application. More importantly, saved my analysts about 20 minutes per application in their underwriting. And these are people that looked at roughly 100 to 150 applications a day. So saving them 20 minutes on 25, say, applications a day, huge savings. We were able to take that time and invest it back in growing the business because they were able to work better with their customers and develop better relationships. Obviously, the financial savings went straight to the bottom line. Now, looking at the second question, how can we continue to innovate for the next 5 to 10 years? Got curious on this one, so I wanted to go out and do a little research. First thing I found was some Booz & Company. Booz is a consulting company, a little competitor of mine, but it's okay, the research is still good. They looked at what's really being spent on R&D, kind of by region. So I focused on North America, saw that we were kind of leading the pack in 2011, and we spent roughly $2.3 billion on innovation. Big number. That represents about 4.7% of revenue. Now, what I found was interesting then was, okay, how's that money actually being spent? So I went out to APQC, or the American Productivity and Quality Center, and they had some benchmark research around how companies were allocating their R&D spend. What they found was about 50% of that money was being allocated to enhancements. Those were improvements or innovation, but within existing business lines and products. About 30% of it was being spent on what they call major extensions, which means stepwise improvement, but still within categories that were already known to the company. That only leaves 20% of pure innovation, pure white space, out there, out of the box thinking, whatever cliche you want to use, spent on innovation. When I think about innovation, I think about two things, time and money. When I think about business process improvement, I think about efficiency and cost. Reducing cost, improving efficiency, time and money. If I make you more efficient, I give you time. If I reduce costs, I give you money. Time and cost are what we need. That's how we continue to innovate for the next 5 to 10 years. We drive efficiencies, we reduce costs. So, in summation, no, we've not yet reached anywhere near the limit of what we can do for business process improvement. And two, we can fund and we can find time for innovation. Thanks. I look forward to your comments.